Seatbelts are not as confining as a wheelchair. Drive carefully. A message from the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force.
Government of Grenada pledges $100,000 for initial relief effort in the Bahamas. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, September 3rd, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. The government of Grenada has pledged $100,000 to the immediate relief effort for the people of the Bahamas. Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honourable Keith Mitchell said on Tuesday the decision was taken at the weekly cabinet meeting on Monday. Dr. Mitchell said Grenada's contribution is in keeping with an agreement among leaders of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States that all members will make a similar pledge. Dr. Mitchell has been in direct communication with his Bahamian counterpart, Prime Minister Hubert Minnis, expressing solidarity and support for the government and people of the Bahamas. The Prime Minister said, and I quote, "It is a particularly difficult time for the people of the Bahamas, given the level of devastation we have witnessed. The real picture is not yet known, but what we do know is that in times like these, we have to be our brother's keeper." 15 years ago, when Grenada was battered by Hurricane Ivan, many rushed to our aid, and today we are in a position to help our Caribbean brother. I have given assurances to my colleague Prime Minister that the government and people of Grenada stand ready and willing to assist in any way possible. Unquote. When he addressed the opening of a regional conference here on Tuesday, Dr. Mitchell also spoke of the situation in the Bahamas. He said, and I quote again, "Hurricane Ivan flattened Grenada with winds of 120 miles per hour. By contrast, Hurricane Dorian slammed into the Bahamas with winds of 185 miles per hour, and at one point the system did not move for several hours. Now this is a phenomenon we have not seen before, and it may force us to rethink the whole concept of disaster management." Unquote. Dr. Mitchell has encouraged Grenadians at home and abroad to keep their Bahamian brothers and sisters in their thoughts and prayers. In addition to government's pledge, Grenadians have a chance to contribute to the Bahamas relief effort. The National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, has reactivated its disaster relief account, and monetary donations can be made there. The account is at the Grenada Cooperative Bank, the number 121004900. Prime Minister and Minister for Finance Dr. The Right Honourable Keith Mitchell has identified transformational leadership and human capital development as critical factors in achieving improved project implementation rates in Grenada and other Caribbean countries. Speaking at the start of the Caribbean Development Bank's regional conference on project cycle management, Dr. Mitchell cited a need to amplify efforts to build institutional capacity and bridge competency gaps in the public service. He appealed for an urgent move away from working in silos to a whole-of-government approach.
As we brainstorm the best way to achieve the desired improvements in project management, delivery, and implementation, it's evident that transformational leadership, new ways of working to deliver improved results, and human capital are critical levers for strengthening our developmental process. We note, too, the evidence that points to significant deficits in these key areas. We must therefore focus on improving human and institutional capacity, efficiency, and service delivery to revolutionize the way we work and conduct our business. It follows, therefore, that there must be a radical shift in the culture of the public service across the region to better support the results and to drive performance.
Grenada has partnered with the CDB to host a conference, and the Prime Minister underscored the significance of the event, saying the rate of project implementation and delivery continues to be a fundamental problem facing Caribbean governments. He also called on public sector leaders and managers to take ownership in the process of change as countries prepare for further growth and development. Dr. Mitchell added, and I quote, "There is no disputing the fact that improved public sector implementation performance plays a vital role in transforming the economic growth and development of Grenada and other Caribbean countries," unquote. In her remarks at Tuesday's opening ceremony, CDB's Vice President of Operations, Ms. Monica Bennett, said a project cycle management training has been an area of focus for the bank over the last 2 years, with the intention being to improve management, monitoring, and implementation of policies, programs, and projects across the region. She disclosed that more than 2,000 civil servants in the CDB's 19 borrowing member countries have benefited from the training.
CDB acknowledges that implementation of development projects is a major challenge across our region. Slow implementation hinders the delivery of tangible development results to our populations. Through this training program, the bank has been promoting the use of new frameworks and tools to facilitate innovative approaches to speedier project implementation. We envisage that such changes will accelerate progress towards attainment of our country's development goals, including significant reduction in poverty and inequality.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
Prepare for hurricane. Prepare for hurricane. Make sure you have your radio and your batteries too. Waterproof flashlight candles will do. Tin stuff, garbage bag, first aid kit. Come on people, make sure you have it. Clean water in a container and a hurricane plan. Hear me no man.
Hurricane damage is beyond your control. Surviving the aftermath is up to you. Have a hurricane plan. It can save your life and your family too.
Prepare for hurricane. Your hair, prepare for hurricane.
Continuing the news, Grenadians will have access to free medical care and surgical procedures for 1 week when the U.S. Naval Hospital ship Comfort docks in Grenada from September 15th to 20th. It comes less than a year after the second visit to Grenada by the Chinese hospital ship Ark Peace in October 2018, when more than 9,000 Grenadians received care. Addressing the media on Tuesday, Linda Taliala-Taylor, the U.S. ambassador to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, said hundreds of surgical procedures will be done on board the ship, while consultations and minor procedures will be done at the National Stadium and the Youth Center.
The hospital will be, and the medical clinics will be open from the 15th through the 20th. And as I say, I can tell you that in previous countries where they've been on a 5-month tour. They've been in some 10 countries doing very similar work, that they have done anywhere from 1,000 to 1,800 visits a day at the clinics. So we plan on opening up services to everyone as possible, given the time constraints and the amount of work that needs to be done.
Services will be provided in ophthalmology, general surgery, urology, orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, and wound care. Senior Medical Officer Dr. Francis Martin says a referral from a doctor is not necessary.
Persons do not necessarily need a referral, although if you have a referral from your physician, it makes it easier for the healthcare providers on the ship to navigate you through the system. But even if you do not have a referral from your physician, you can actually simply show up at the sites. You will be triaged at the sites, and your service requirements will be noted, and you'll be taken through the system. Just a quick examples of things that will be done, and I want to say this because we really want persons who have the problems to come and get the services. We have a short time, it's 5 days, and we don't really want people who need the services not getting it. So if you do not have a problem, I don't think you should, well, I don't want to say don't show up, but I think you understand what I mean. Let's allow persons who actually have problems to get in.
Health Minister, the Honorable Nicholas Deal, is confident that Grenada's health sector will benefit from the partnership with the U.S. naval ship. Over 500 Grenadians will be treated daily at the 2 medical sites and on the ship.
We're here to maximize the benefit. I think that is a responsibility of Dr. Martin and myself to make sure with whatever resources we have to maximize the benefit of it. So this is one additional resource for 5 days that we will maximize.
The 894-foot vessel is being operated by the Military Sealift Command. 4 new schools will be constructed and major repair work will be undertaken on 5 others under the Grenada Education Enhancement or GEEP project. The project embraces expansion and rehabilitation work for schools, institutional strengthening and capacity building across Grenada's education system. Addressing the media during Tuesday's post-cabinet briefing, Education Minister the Honourable Emmeline Pear assured of her government's commitment to ensure that work is undertaken on the institutions for an atmosphere that is conducive to learning.
Work is well underway as it relates to designs, as it relates to the start of actual work on the ground, and we are progressing nicely there. That being said, I cannot say this morning that I'm satisfied, I'm happy with where we are, and probably I'll never be able to say that because of the number of schools that we have throughout the island, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. But what I can say to you is that this government is extremely committed to the issue of ensuring that we have a conducive environment for teaching and learning.
19 schools were approved for major repair work. This is currently ongoing at the Bonaire Government, Victoria Preschool, Victoria School for Special Education, SAS, St. Andrew Methodist and St. Michael RC. Minor work is being undertaken by Financial Complex Limited at St. Paul's Government, St. Michael RC, Current Government, St. David's RC and SJC in Grenville. 3 new preschools are also to be constructed. The groundbreaking ceremony has already been held for one of the schools, and Holy Cross RC has already completed to the tune of 5.3 million EC dollars. Concerned about the dwindling numbers there, Minister Pear is appealing to parents to return their children to the school now that they have been given a new facility. And that's the National Report. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.
Seatbelts are not as confining as a wheelchair. Drive carefully. A message from the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force.
Grenada's economy is heading for its 7th year of consistent growth, averaging over 5%. Unemployment was reduced by 20%, while debt to GDP ratio was reduced from 108% to 63.5%. NNP committed to the economic and social development of our people. NNP delivering on the promise.
It's coming, the new family of EC polymer notes.
What is different about these notes?
The feel.
Polymer notes are made from a thin plastic film which makes the notes feel smoother than the paper notes.
The orientation.
The notes have a portrait orientation. You will read the notes from top to bottom instead of left to right as you do with the paper notes.
Unique tactile feature.
The front of each note has raised bumps at the top left-hand corner. These bumps form shapes that are familiar to you.
Holographic foil strip.
This feature is on the $20, $50, and $100. When you tilt the notes, the images and colors in this section will change.
New image on the $50.
The back of the $50 bears the image of former governor of the ECCB, the late Honorable Sir K. Dwight Venner.
New signature.
All the notes bear the signature of the current governor, Timothy N.J. Antoine.
EC polymer notes. Cleaner, safer, stronger.
"54 farmers are now part of the Silver Sands Grenada Farmers Program, an initiative that began in March of 2017 with the objective of reducing the quantity of produce imported in the island for use at the resort. The Silver Sands Farmers Program, a joint venture between the Silver Sands Hotel and Grenada, which began with 35 farmers in March of 2017, has now increased to 54 farmers. Culinary Director at the Silver Sands Hotel, John Louis Brocardi, is pleased with the progress of the program to date. During a recent visit to some of the farms with the Government Information Service, he reviewed Phase 1 that included farmers mainly from the St. Andrew Parish.
Well, we kept on pushing in St. Andrews and some of the parts of St. David, the higher parts in St. David's. St. Andrews has progressed quite a lot. We've been steadily purchasing from them now for the past month and a half to 2 months, actually, since about September. As of now, we're buying about 4,000 to 5,000 pounds of produce a week from those farmers, which is good. We still need to push because we had rain, strong rains a few weeks ago, so we lost some crops like zucchini, yellow squashes, tomatoes. So we're replanting that. I think it's part of the trial and error. See what we need to do and where we need to improve. Building greenhouses is the next step, maybe, or protect some kind of protection for the crops to survive those kind of bad weather.
The unpredictable weather pattern is proven to be a challenge. Despite that factor, however, since the commencement of the program, a variety of crops have been introduced to the farmers.
Some great purple pepper, green peppers. We're starting to have zucchinis that are looking good. They taste great. I've sampled them in the past. Very, very, very nice. The seedling farm that we have up in St. Patrick is doing great and is ready to put out for the next batch of crops now. And this is about where we stand, and we're happy. I mean, it's a learning process for all of us. We're trying to help the farmers through Teresa Marichard to understand the process, what to expect. Again, it's there's the Grenadian ways, and then what I expect. So we try to meet somewhere in the middle and make it happen. So
what are some of the other new seedlings that you've introduced? I know you had the tomatoes and so in St. Andrew. These peppers here, are they what you introduced as well?
Well, the peppers they were doing peppers in Grenada, doing green peppers. Obviously, for a restaurant, you have the presentation aspect. So we're looking at purple, yellow, red peppers. So we're pushing in that way as well. The melons and the watermelons, we're trying to do colored watermelon, like yellow watermelon, orange watermelons. Just again, variety and the visual aspect on breakfast buffets. We're trying to do and pushing a lot on seedless watermelons as well. Because again, customers, they come and they don't like seeds in their watermelon. It's, I guess I can't blame it because my kids, if I give them raisins or watermelon with seeds, they won't eat them either because they think that they come without seed. That's a natural thing, which is not. So we're trying to push in that. Tomatoes were doing good. Again, the rain affected it last time. And right now, we're actually, we are gearing back up. So we've done a lot of trials over the past 12 to 14 months, and we overproduced at one point where we didn't know what to do with it, and we had a lot of waste, and we gave some away, and obviously we stopped producing because it wasn't, have the farmers walking and trying to not sell. It's not fair to them. It's not.
Rolf Phillip of Point Estate St. Patrick, who now farms with his father and brother at Lassages in St. David, welcomes the initiative of the Silver Sands. He believes this will provide a ready market for their produce after they have toiled tirelessly under the elements of the weather.
Well, what I go say, is a good for all the farmers in Grenada, even including me, understand? Because it come like a big help, you understand? Because enough times we just be planting enough things and all us be spoiling, you understand? So more hotels and more places, good for the farmers, so we could sell the produce, we don't have that big set of losses.
So exactly what will you be farming for them?
Well, I go be farming watermelon, I go be farming bell pepper, I go be farming tomatoes, sweet potato, and, like pumpkin, even sorrel, tomatoes, whatever they want me to grow, I will grow it for them.
How many acres you working with now?
Well, I'm working with 5 acres and some.
Yeah. And now that you're into the Silver Sands Farmers Program, you mentioned the fact that it is your brother, I think your dad, and yourself. Does that mean that you would need to have extra hands?
Well, yeah, it's not a problem, It's not a problem with the extra hands because like I seed now, I won't try to play greedy and eat everything for myself, you understand? I would like for somebody to eat, you know what I mean? Because you have other people who want to do farming, you understand, and they don't get in the opportunity, you understand? So I'm glad for, I'm glad for people to come around and, see what I'm doing, and if they want to join, they could join, and spread the thing bigger, and I'm all around, you understand?
Lydia Bonaparte, who has been into farming from the age of 25, is also part of the Farmers Program. She spent much of her years working with farmers until she was encouraged to branch off on her own.
Well, when Miss Marichard came on the farm to visit Mr. Peters, and he spoke to her about me, that's how I get involved. And being good, feeling good to be a part of it.
This is your particular land, or is land that identified and given to you to do this?
No, it was government space lands for the farmers So Mr. Peters, who had a say here, gave me, seeing as I used to work with him, he gave me the permission to do something on my own.
And tell me exactly what it is you're farming here for Silver Sands.
Corn, zucchini, and peppers. And sweet corn, zucchini, squash, and peppers, sweet peppers.
Any challenges encountered in terms of planting?
No.
And this particular peppers, is it the first time you're planting that kind?
The first time I'm planting the purple, yeah.
At Chamfer in St. David, we met up with Brian Hazard, one of the youngest farmers in the program. He had a very interesting theory for getting into farming, a decision he took some 5 years ago.
I find all the old farmers dying out and nobody really taking up the footstep. So I decided, well, as a young man, I'll try and make a difference. Because plenty young people, they're looking to do farming on a whole. I don't know if because they find farming is a lot of hard work. But once you have a love and a passion for farming, it comes easy. Actually, it was a day, I think it was a Sunday. Miss My show and all they were searching for people to do farming. So that time I just really start to clear down them trees and them. And they booking me on the project. They give me assistance with pump, irrigation and stuff. That's how I really got involved in the project.
Hazard possesses about 3 acres of land to work with, but is currently utilizing 1.5 acres.
I occupy 1.5 acres. I'm looking to cut down another 1/2 acre to do some bell peppers for the hotel. Bell peppers and Chinese cabbage.
The Silver Sands Farmers Project has received the attention of other resorts on the island, who John Louis says have expressed interest in participating.
I have several chefs from the island, from big entities on the island that have contacted me. One a couple of days ago that is interested in my farmers, in my crops. So I think, I don't want to give all my crops away. And that's why I do what I do, because I want to be exclusive in some produce. But at the same time, I think it's great for farmers that we're actually gaining their confidence again, and that they're confident enough to produce more. So if other chefs can beneficiate from that, the farmers and the economy will beneficiate as well in Grenada, because the more they produce, the better they do, and the more facilities we'll be able to provide them with. And I think one of the next steps, the crucial step, is distribution, which is a lacking factor right now in Grenada, where we need to find or get a truck and really have a way to distribute the produce rather than have one person going around the farm and collecting what we need.
John Louis Brocardi says the Silver
And good morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. Once again, it's an episode of Hard Talk. My name is Sheldon Scott.
I'm Devon Romain.
And we do have a guest in studio with us this morning. Yes, we do have the Honorable Oliver Joseph, our Minister of Trade and Cooperatives within the Ministry of Finance, yeah?
No, it's a ministry.
With a ministry itself?
Itself, yeah.
Yeah, man. I work along with the Ministry of Finance.
Yeah.
Well, all ministries work along with the Ministry of Finance, you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I pay. So we do have the minister in with us. Our time with the minister this morning is limited. It's already 14 minutes after the hour of 10 o'clock. So we're going to get right into it. Minister, how have things been going? We just crossed the half mark for the year. How have things been going?
Well, thank you for having me here. And let me say good morning to all listeners. I remember when I was a little boy growing up, they used to say, listener in radio land. You don't say that again?
Yeah, man.
No, because
radio
it's not only radio people listening to. So you have to change the word. In my days, it was radio alone.
You know, that's a very, very valid point.
So
you know.
yes,
The digital means because
That's
we
right.
have people on YouTube tuned
That's right,
in.
all over.
We have on Facebook tuned in.
Yes.
We have Wade and so on. The others, Wade has a thing now that you listen it on your phone and your Google Play, Apple devices, all sorts of things, you know.
Right, so you can't say Radio Land again. You have to say something else. You come up with a new term.
We have to change it.
But so let me say, I'm happy to be here. I want to start off by talking about the constituency of St. David, because a lot of things have been happening in St. David. In my first term, the first 5 years, compared to 1.5 years in the second term, more have been done in this 1.5 year than the entire first 5 years. And
Wow.
I'll explain why I'm saying that. Well, the two major problems in St. David is housing and unemployment. That is the thing. When I go Thursdays in my constituency office, where people come to me, that's about 95% will be on housing and unemployment. So what have we done to address this situation? First of all, the government employed what is called environmental wardens all over the island to maintain the environment. So they do the drainage, the overhanging, and so on. And in St. David's, we have 6 wardens gangs, 6. Each gang has 6 persons in it. And that's permanent. So 36 permanent people employed as environmental warden. And St. David's have the most. Of course, because we are the largest constituency. So we have 6 environmental wardens doing extremely good work. People are praising them for the way they attend to the environment. You know, drainage is a major issue. Every time rainfall, people complain that the water overflow and damage the same road we just repaired. So a lot of emphasis is placed on drainage, and they are doing an excellent job in that area. With respect to lighting of playing fields, earlier this year, Malmong playing field now have lights and a lot of activities taking place.
But not just lights, but they have like stadium quality lights.
Yes.
Lights on metal pole and
metal
thing,
pole,
not
yes.
pole that
That's
will
right.
rotten out after
Oh yes,
hours,
very
but
very
metal
good
pole.
lighting. In fact, someone that lives in Felix Park said they get the light right up there.
Yeah.
As far as there. And so we have a lot of night activities. Windball cricket, small goal football. A lot of activities generated in the community. And therefore, that's a model we want to use throughout the community. As you know, La Sagesse is going to be lighted up. And the lights have been ordered already. The Minister of Sports have indicated that hopefully before the end of the year, early in the beginning of next year, the lighting should take place. Of course, it has to be done with international standards. When we first started talking about lighting La Sagesse, we were thinking about what we did in Malmong, to just put up some poles and put the light. And then the Cricket Congress said, no. La Sagesse is the second field that will be used for practice by international teams. When they come to Grenada, therefore we must have international standard lights. And that is what caused the delay, because you have to change everything over. And costs, of course, increase. So, but we are happy that we getting international standard lights to put in La Sagesse. So that is on the table.
But on the issue of the lights, because I remember doing research before on it, with the cricket especially, you have to have a certain amount of lighting by the batsman, a certain amount by the bowler, a certain amount.
Yes, that's why I'm saying. Yeah.
So it's not just throw up some lights.
No, because it's done particularly for cricket. So that when the ball hit in the air, you have to be able to look up without the light itself being in your eye, but you see in the ball.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of consideration, yes.
And the importance of La Sagesse as well. In fact, Grenada's 2 medalists at the Pan American Games last month, both of them, La Sagesse is the field.
Yes.
Anderson Peters,
that's right.
even though he's from Sobeys, La
that's
Sagesse
the training
is the field.
ground, yes. That's where they train.
As well as Lyndon Victor, St. David's man.
Yes, that's right.
So that's their training ground. When they're here, that's where they go.
Even when Lyndon was here the last time I dropped him with La Sagesse, I saw him walking actually. I said, where are you going to? He said, I'm walking to go to La Sagesse to train. So it's an important. It's an important.
And we know this and David Track Blazers.
Track
They'll
Blazers,
be very
that's
happy.
right.
They'll be
Yes.
very happy. I could possibly go to the meet next year without having to take the abuse. So I could go next year once that's done. So
yes. So that, but more importantly, I want to come to as I said, the two issues as I mentioned, housing. So let me indicate what we're doing. So in St. David's, we have a budget by the government for house repair, a house repair program, and we got an increase in the budget this year. So we're able to help more and more people. Yet we cannot help everybody that come. So the housing officers will do an assessment and then help people to repair their house. Within the rainy season, so people are coming forward and saying, well, they're getting wet and they need windows, they need a roof repair and so on. And we are working on that. But in order to address it, the government, as you know, signed an agreement with the People's Republic of China to supply 1,000 houses for Grenada. The first phase went, and now in the second phase, there'll be 5 areas throughout Grenada, Carriacou, Grenada and Carriacou, 5 locations where houses will be built. And in Corinth, in St. David, we are getting 226 housing units. Now, these are not single houses by itself. It's an apartment complex. So if you're driving through Corinth and you look up just before you meet the school, there will be 21 buildings going up there that will contain the 226 housing units. So there'll be 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom with everything. 1 bedroom with bathroom, toilet, kitchen, 2 bedroom with fully complete. And with these 226 families they're catering for, that will make a huge difference in the housing situation in St. David. So I'm very anxious about this project to have that accommodated. And we received the most. No other side receive all these housing units. St. David's alone, out of the 600 and I think 25 that's going to be built, we received 226 that will be built in St. David's. And you will see buildings start going up already. Next year, it should be ready for handing out, over to low-income families. And that will make a big difference in people's standard of living. Because when you have a house and that contains bathroom, toilet, kitchen, everything, it improves because you have better facility. So your standard of living automatically improve. You have electricity now, children could study. And that is what government is in office for, to improve the standard of living of people. We want to lift people out of poverty. And therefore, the housing units that come in there will play a major role in helping deal with the problem. I say you can completely solve all the problem when you have 226, but at least it will go a long way. And it's for St. David's people. I give some people a drop from St. Andrews, and they asked me if they could apply for a house. So I said it is for St. David's people because we have a acute shortage of housing in St. David. So we're trying to address that particular matter. So I am extremely pleased with that. Then come to the area of creating jobs now, employment. So Range Development came to Grenada to look for area to build a Six Senses hotel. Well, if you Google Six Senses, it's top brand in the world, mainly located in Asia and the other. It will be the first Six Senses in the Caribbean. So I was introduced to the developers and I suggested that they come to St. David's to look for land. Why you want to go to the south of the island, where it's so crowded with investment and hotel? So indeed they came to St. David's, looked at a number of areas, and when they went up to La Sagesse, going right down to the beach, and there is also a pond, a lake there, they immediately decide that is the area that they want to put the hotel on. So they started negotiation with the private owner, because not government lands, private owner, to buy the lands. And the private owner lives right there in La Sagesse, said, once it's for development in St. David, I will sell the land. He too got excited. We were more excited. Yes. Yes. He said, yes, you put in a Six Senses hotel in St. David. Well, we're going to sell you the lands, because that will create a lot of jobs. So the body lands, the plan have already been developed. On the 23rd of August, we turned south and they made a presentation at Silver Sand showing what the project will be like. It will take 2 years to completion from starting date. They were hoping to start by the end of the year, but they're looking at the weather, because the weather starting is ground work.
Yeah.
And they still deciding whether they should start in January. Well, if they start in November or January, that's not a big difference. Thing is, if they start in January, 2 years with the January, so 2022, we should have a Six Senses hotel in St. David, top brand, creating, first of all, they're building the hotel itself will have 100 bedrooms. In Six Senses, so the right who manages the hotel have a ratio of room to employment, and the ratio is 1 to 3. So it's very simple. If you have a 100-bedroom hotel, there will be 300 permanent employees. You see, you guys 1 to 3.
Yeah.
So you guarantee, and then they will be building villas as well, in addition to, and they are known for
outside of these 100.
Yes, outside there,
because
because
to be doing villas
right.
outside of the 100.
Yes, because 100 is the hotel.
Yeah.
Right. And they have the best SPAs in the world. If you go and Google them, in fact, they are known for that, for having spas.
Yeah.
They have anti-aging treatment. When I Google it, they offer anti-aging treatment
Get rid of the
as
wrinkles.
well. So, but they are well known for that. People, in fact, visit the hotel just for the spas, because they hire a real professional person. And their philosophy is anywhere they go, you must employ local labor. And they will do the training. They will train the people. So, for example, from the time they start construction and employment, the staff that wants to work in the hotel, they will train them. So they will look for people and start training them, because a certain standard, you have to offer a certain standard of service, you know.
So similar to what Silver Sands did,
Yes,
where they had
similar.
a training session for the people before they brought them in.
Before, yes. Because say, when you're using Six Senses brand name, now how hotels operate? Six Senses and Ramadan, they don't build hotels, you know. And Hyatt don't build a hotel, you know. You are the developer, range development. They're the one building the hotel. But they must sign a contract with one of the leading brands to carry the name. So when you see you're going to a Hyatt or some big brand name hotel, they sign on. So in this case, they have to negotiate with Six Senses. In fact, a representative from Six Senses came down to look at where you're going to put the hotel. And they had certain standards. So before agreeing that they could build it in Las Vegas, you know.
Wow.
Because they call it carrying the name, you see. Six Senses.
So the standard has to be
yes,
up there.
the standard has to be there. And on the 23rd, a representative from Six Senses was in the island and spoke in glowing terms of the area in which the hotel is going to be built. And he said that they think they will attract more people to the spas in Las Vegas. In fact, they call it Six Senses Las Vegas in Grenada, because in the tropical climate, right near to the beach and the port. So they are very confident that the Six Senses operation now, that this hotel will attract more of the guests to Grenada to be on this beach, to be in the tropics, and to get all the services that they offer. So it's very exciting days that are going along. In addition, so that is in Las Vegas. Close to there, the developers now, as I said, they develop a range development. Because Six Senses rate the Las Vegas area with the beach so highly, they asked government if they could build a second hotel nearby. But this time, this is government land, right? We have government has 17 acres of land there. But the first thing I said, we need to preserve the beachfront. You can't touch that. That have to remain open. They say that is their policy. They do not want any private beach. They want beach. So they need now 12 acres of land, right? They're out of the 17. And then they will negotiate with one of the top brand. I'm not sure which one yet because they have not concluded. But they just, 2 years ago, they opened a Park Hyatt in St. Kitts. So they probably will look at going back to negotiate, since that they already have that relation. But as I said, they have not settled yet on which name, which company what brand they will use. But imagine you get Six Senses there and a Hyatt in St. David's, 2 top-class hotels that will create over 600 permanent jobs. You know, talking about permanent jobs. And in the construction of these 2 hotels, 500 jobs. That will turn around the whole face of St. David's. Right in La Sagesse there.
Yeah.
And then you have the housing project, you have the hotel. What will happen is that people will come in and say, I want to put on a supermarket, restaurant, and then you see the town just emerging right around there. Because
it seems as though that's the town area already. I see some buildings.
Well, it's central. People are moving towards that area. For example, with the 226 houses, so assuming a family of 4, you're talking about 900 people already, you know. There. So you must need a big shopping mall with all sort of facilities. So it will automatically just drive people to that area.
So it's the peripheral things that'll be needed, because you may need, for instance, you're talking about a school now. How do you have to upgrade the school?
Well, your current school would have enough space, because remember the school population is now declining, in all the schools, you know.
Wow.
Yes, because when you look at the data, Grenada population is not growing fast. So with all the schools, now the Ministry of Education has to look at student-pupil ratio. Right. So there will be school there. And you have, in St. David, 6 primary school and 2 secondary. So we think that we'll be able to accommodate.
For that?
Yes, for that. What you will find coming is businesses. That is what you want. A mall that will create for everything. You'll have a pharmacy, you have doctors there. And that will come because already 2 investors, one local and one foreign, approach our lands to put on these things already.
Wow.
Right there around in close proximity to that area. So you will see it naturally just developing. And then we have, right in La Sagesse again, the water plant, Aqua Blue, that was in Frequentier, that moved up there. Already employed over 15 people in the water, bottling water. Then the next one section of this building there is to produce a pharmaceutical product, actually a skincare product. They already have the patent to do it. So what they will do is to bring in the base and do the mixture right there and create some more jobs right in that same area. So when you have people working there, people working at the hotel construction site and permanent jobs, a big restaurant will just see the need to come there. And just Sunday, somebody will say they're going to St. George's and they will pass by KFC and they say, Mr. Why don't tell the people, when these people come, they put a KFC there?
Yeah.
I say, well, I'm not sure if that is the healthiest way to go, but they have a franchise already in Grenada, and if they see the opportunity, why not? As I said, they will have close to 1,000 people in the housing they're living. So there are a lot of opportunities there I see.
I've seen close by in Corinth as well, a local investor has taken the bull by the horn and he opened a small gas station.
Yeah, he opened a small gas station there this year.
And that's going to be a very, very useful gas station.
Yes,
it already is, and it's going to be even more useful.
You have the gas station, and in Wester Hall, from last month, you have a 24-hour service station open, Deco service station, 24 hours.
In case all you didn't know, now in Wester Hall, we have 24-hour
service station. No, Wester Hall.
We just spoke about the one in Corinth, but we have Wester Hall now that's open 24/7.
Yeah, 24 hours, 24/7 around the clock, and then you have the one in Corinth there. So a lot of activities taking place, and then you have Kenco. They have 20 acres of land in one area growing cane, 10 acres in the next thing, employing a lot of people. from St. David's in that sector. And then you have an ex-investor, Mr. Oliver Paul, who is doing sauce up tea, packaging it, right? And other teas, packaging it, right in St. David's there.
I had a conversation with them recently, and the packaging is amazing, man. They're doing that. Oh, I'm trying to remember the exact area in St. David, but I'm going to get them onto the program one day soon so people can see. But it's a wonderful product. Excellent product.
Yes, they have a very good product in PT2.
Yes, that's the name of the place.
I visit them, and next week Friday I'll be visiting them again. And so that is why I indicated when I began, this 1.5 year, the number of things that happened, the first 5 years was not as active, and the plans you have for the remainder of this in the next 3 years, 4 years for St. David's. Sheldon, you won't recognize St. David's when you come up there just now, you know.
Well, I already having problems when I pass current and I'm going down the road. I'm starting to have difficulty already, you know.
No, it's amazing, yeah.
Minister, within your constituency, could you just elaborate for us in terms of the development within the different villages? And so, you know that usually, for example, the assistance with housing, the bathroom, toilet, and so, plus the road infrastructure development through the villages. Could you elaborate a bit more on you know?
Right, yes. No, well, that's a good question, because we have a project, a funding from government for what is called special projects, where the MP can identify the needs in the various areas in St. David's and ask the Ministry of Works to do scope of work and allow the personnel to do small scope of work up to $15,000. So what we've been doing is going through different areas. So we'll do a box drain in Mount Tranquil, we do a retaining wall in Pomrose. We try to spread it right out, you know? Yes, so that one PD, as you call it, polling division or areas. Because I don't know if you know that, Sheldon, but you will learn that today. You have 52 villages in St. David's.
Well, I didn't know it had that much.
Yes,
I know St. David's big. I know we big, but I didn't know that amount.
And 12 polling divisions.
Oh.
So you have 52 villages. So if I have to visit one village a week, it will take me the whole year. Okay, 52 weeks in the year. So they have to increase the frequency of a visit. You see, because of how the land ownership was in the past, so you driving up and you're in Pedmota, and after 5 minutes you're in Beaton, and 2 minutes you're in Laura, and 3 minutes you're in the next area. You know? That's how it's, the communities are divided up, you know. So, yeah, that's why I tell you we are 52, right? With a population close to 15,000, right? And the bathroom and toilet that you mentioned, and this give me an opportunity to clarify it, because young people who come and see, Minister, I hear that you have a program to install bathroom and toilet. Can I get one? We have to remind people it is for the disabled and the vulnerable people, because we have limited resources, right? We have limited resources. So the blind man in Apoitut, he got first. Can't go. Yeah. Then the guy behind the police station with 1 foot guard, you know, and the other lady who is in bed, and these, you know, so we have to target these less fortunate people first. If we had the resources, I have written up a project for 1 million EC to solve just for bathroom and toilet, and submit it, because I alone wouldn't get 1 million from the government budget, because you have 15 constituencies. So I decided to go to submit it to private funding agency. And if I get 1 million, that could help everybody to get bathroom and toilet in St. David, because
eliminate pit latrines.
Yes. And when you have that, it gets rid of a lot of other problems that pit latrine create. Yes, health issues and so on and things. So my aim is, I'm hoping to get it before before this current term ends, to help people, as I say, to lift them out of poverty. Because on the education front, I am so happy to see the amount of students from St. David's applying to go to TAMCC. When they come, and SGU, in the first 5 years, that was my biggest achievement. The number of young people we help go to university and go to TAMCC. This year, that has increased because the word spreading around. Anytime they come by me, they will get help for education.
Education.
Yeah, education. Even this, we have one student now on a sports scholarship, University of Technology. But the scholarship only covers tuition. And he worried now how he will pay accommodation. And you know what he said to me when he come? He said, Mommy say, if you go to the minister, he will ensure that you get this money to help you with accommodation because he wants to see everybody in St. David's go to university. He said, you want to tell him that?
And is it true?
So, yes.
Is it true?
I tell him, I say, watch, why I believe in that? I come from poor family, and if it was not for university education, I wouldn't reach where I am today. So I want to say all poor people children, government assist them to go to university. And that is what this government is doing, putting millions of dollars into education to help children. This year, however, we had to cut the assistance to half for TAMCC because the budget boss in the first month already get the request. The $810 is the cost for but we had but it's a yearly budget we have.
Yeah.
So when you finish, you have to go and get money to put so we decided we would give 50% because we want to help all the students. Right? I mean, those in need, of course.
Yeah.
Help them. So we decided to give half. And in some cases, for the students who got half, and I know personally the situation in which they find themselves, the parents will not be able to give them the next half. I give them the next half. Yeah, I say, okay, we'll give
you as you.
Yeah, personally. Well, they get from the government. Yeah. Half. I mean, about 4-5 students come. And I know them personally, and know their family, and know they cannot afford to get the half. Because when they get the fortnight in the road, they will have to buy books for them, they have to buy shoes for them to go to school,
And we're talking transport and food.
That's right, they're talking transport. But these needy people getting the assistance from government to go to TAMCC and SGU is making a big, big difference. And I've already indicated to the Minister of Finance that we should increase the budget in that area. Increase the budget for tuition assistance and in an area for students. And already they started with overseas students who in dire need. The government helped provide assistance. Because
there was the situation in Trinidad recently where the Trinidad government had changed their...
For last academic year, they say, well, listen, we're cutting back on our budget. We're cutting back on our education budget. We cannot be seen as offering scholarship to other countries.
They sent home nearly 500 people from the University of Trinidad and Tobago, so they couldn't qualify that to their people. That here we are paying for
10 students to go full-time to go. You know what the government did? Because the students already got accepted to UWI. Because we got the notice rather late after they got accepted. The cabinet took a decision that we're going to pay for the 10 students to go to university. We could not disappoint the students. And no, we could not. So, and that's the difference between our party and any other party, We are a party that understand the needs of people, and address the needs. And this government might say, well, Trinidad government pull out, so if your parents can send you, that's it. We said no. They already committed. They got accepted. Them students getting ready to go. As a government, we will pay. And we pay for the students to go to university. That is what I like about this government and this leader. You see, when you come from humble background, poor people, children, you understand clearly the struggles of poor people, and the need to help them, to lift them up. And education is what could do that. And that's why a lot of emphasis be placed right now on education and assistance to these people. So in the next 5 years, you see a lot of graduates coming up, qualifying. They could take up them jobs that's coming to Grenada. And that's why we're spending so much money training people, skills training, because we have to have our people equipped and ready for the world of work. So I am very, very satisfied with what is taking place in Grenada as a whole, but more importantly, in St. David, as I said, what we have been able to achieve, and looking forward to in 2 years' time for the opening of a Six Senses hotel, because I know that will really drive other activities in St. David. So I'm just pleased that they're able to represent the people. They still have a lot of confidence in me. And that's the thing, people talk about that always, They say, one thing we know about our representative, we will get good representation from him. We will always fight for us. Always try to make sure that St. David's get the best. And they say that openly.
One comment that came on online is from one individual. They're saying that they're hoping that we plan properly for the amenities in St. David with all that's coming. In other words, that NOASA is on board when it comes to the supply of water, in particular because you're going to increase significantly the supply of water and the amount of water you need in the Lassajes area. Grenlec, the amount of electricity that maybe they have to put a substation somewhere else. But for the electricity supply in the St. David area, and also the Digicel and Flow and so on for their telecommunications, all of these different things, that these are being taken into consideration with the development that's taking place in Lassajes.
That's a very good comment, yes. The utilities, the whole infrastructure, the roads, and now we have an ATM machine in St. David's, in case you didn't know.
Yeah,
right opposite the police station.
I hear.
Arisa Credit Union ATM machine is there. I'm not only using Arisa card, it's Connect. So if you have card from Coop Bank and other places, they give you a Visa debit card. That you could do. That is something I've been asking for in my first term, and I promised the people. But it came in my second term. Everything that I promised seems to be falling in place now.
Yeah.
Everything just coming. I promised the lighting during my first term. I wasn't able to deliver it. It came in the second term. I promised the ATM machine. It came in the second term. I promised that we'll get at least 2 hotels in the first term. It did not come. It's coming now. So I said, things just seems to be falling in place.
Promise some things now, so when we give you the next term, promise some things now.
No, when somebody said to me, well, Minister, they will be notified to do the third term.
No, we always find things to do.
I want to just give some insight as to how the agriculture sector in St. David is coping. Right, where it is at now, and you know what are the
right. Agriculture is on the rise in St. David's. You have Miss Marisho with the Women's Cooperative, and they are getting direct orders from hotels. So they are engaging a lot of farmers in St. David's, in St. Andrews, and in other places to produce for them so they can supply the hotel. This link between tourism and agriculture, we talk about it for years. It's the first time I'm seeing that happening, you know. Where the actual chef from Silver Sand is going on the farm, you know, and saying that is what we want to plant for me. This I want this, right? And also sandals. Their country, when the chef went there, and they look at the machines and so that they're using to do it, he donated sandals, $80,000 to the cooperative, you know, and say, well, you have to upgrade, right? And Silver Sand provided certain machines for them.
We don't hear about that.
No, anything.
Silver Sands and sandals ain't talking.
Yes, sandals brought Miss Marshall up to Jamaica to hand over, in a big ceremony, hand over the check to her, you know.
Wow.
Say they're investing. And Silver Sands said, in direct connection with the farmers. And so because of that, the farmers are guaranteed that whatever they produce will be sold. You see a big uptake now in farming. Listen, this hotel connection is a big thing. You know, the Sanders, just a simple example, right? The purchasing officer said, listen, if we have an average of 200 tourists, and we use 1 egg a day for each tourist. They say, you know, they 200 eggs a day. Just a simple example. So they 200 eggs a day, you know. Because they use egg in all sorts of different things.
Yeah.
He says, so imagine they just got the egg. We have 200 guests and they want tomato. We can't tell them we don't have. We have to have people to produce it. We want to buy it locally. But when we can't get it, we must bring it in. If we can't get egg, so you go in a Sandals Hotel and the shave till you do the egg. So what we do, we encourage our people to expand, right? Government have this small business loan to help small producers. They could get up to 25,000 to invest in this agriculture and poultry so they can supply the local market. You know, the last time I was here, you and Devon said we must look at the trade figures to show people. We have to have a special program, you know. We have to. Today I just come and talk about St. David's.
No, but we have to have that one.
Yes.
Because particularly I want to find out how much millions a year we're spending on snacks.
Yes.
The sunshine snacks and these conkles and so on.
Yes.
And things like fish that we bringing in.
So much fish
we're bringing pork and lamb and everything too.
Yeah.
Oh, fish.
And I might understand the pork and lamb, you know, you bring the ham, you bring in the sausage, considered pork products.
Man, the pork we should be able to produce that locally. But we still bring it in.
Might have to try Cuban style.
There is one particular farmer in Lamo, that's Purcell. He has one of the better pig farms in the nation right now. He's producing, a lot. But if we can get more farmers to follow his example, and so that will, create a dent within,
Yes, you know what is our trade deficit? That means we input a lot more than we export. At the end of last year, was $1.5 billion we input more than we export. There are a lot of money to be made locally if we could produce the same things that we import, But you have to be planned properly. You have to meet because these are private farmers. So you have to meet with them, plan, marketing board, working with them, with the Ministry of Agriculture. And I think we're moving in that direction because we have a whole plan for the development. And the Ministry of Agriculture going to announce shortly a youth in agriculture project. And that will be a big thing where they will give incentives to young people. Provide the lands, first of all, because they will say they don't have land. And the support financially to get into farming. Have the market there for them so that when they produce, they can sell. That's something that the Ministry of Agriculture will launch very shortly, Youth in Agricultural
And we know in
project.
St. David, a lot of young people have been involved in agriculture. A lot of them have been involved in agriculture over the years. I always see some guy passing with some sweet peppers or something.
Yes, you have a lot of that in St. David's. A lot of farming and fishing take place in St. David's.
Yeah.
And poultry too, a lot of poultry production.
The fishing is one that a lot of people may not realize that there's a significant amount of it taking place in St. David.
Well, because we don't have a central place, we don't have a town where people could go.
Yeah.
So when you go down in Content and Las Angeles and these places, nobody know about the fisheries that taking place there, but you do have a substantial amount taking place. And so the economic activity in St. David's is on the growth, improving, and with the support of the government, a lot more will be done in the future. And as I said, the infrastructure in St. David's is one that we're developing, and we've seen the fruits from that.
Minister, just one quick question. The St. David's Vendors Market Initiative, what is your take on that one? I think it's they should be celebrating about a year.
1 year, they're going to celebrate a year this weekend. I think it's a good initiative. They need to expand it more. People want to see more fruits and vegetables there. That's the complaint I've heard.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been there only twice in the 1 year. But people have said, well, they go with vegetable market, or flea market or whatever they call it. But they expect to see banana and the ashi. Yes.
So it's more haberdashery sort of stuff than fruits and
clothing
and more imported stuff.
Yes. So, we welcome it as a good initiative, but I think it's a start. But after 1 year, as I said, this week we can make them one. They need to listen to what the people saying and provide an opportunity for farmers to come there and sell sell the. So you have a mixture.
Yeah,
you have a mixture of both of them.
Minister, we're well aware that you have to run off. You have a meeting at 11, so I'm giving you a few minutes to get to the meeting. So any final words?
Yeah, well, just to say that the government is really trying its best to help the people help develop and live the standard of citizens. And the people, it's important to get information and get the facts so that they are aware of all the programs that the government have. To the people at the constituency of St. David, I want to thank you for your continued support, because you can't fool people these days, Sheldon. They know when you're walking in the interest. So you have to, come with facts, and I want to thank them very much. We started our street light meeting going around. We had a very good one last week, Thursday, in Mardi Gras.
Okay.
Very, very good meeting. This Thursday, we will be in Mont Tranquille, right? In the gap there, in Mont. Just no mic, nothing. Just rapping, with people.
Rap sessions.
Yes, because you always hear the complaint that they're not seeing the minister. Because I said, because of the size of the constituency. So we're having it twice a week. Then I'll increase it to 3 times a week, right? To make sure we cover everything by the end of the year. So if throughout the year people see you, when you go around election time, they can't say, well, election, so you come in now because it's election. That is not a good, and they do not hold back from telling you that.
Especially St. David people.
So we are touching
St. David people don't play that.
Yeah. Minister, before you go, I just want to say congratulations to St. David's, Calypso Monarch.
Oh, yes, that's right. To Calypso Monarch this year.
And Junior Calypso.
Junior and Senior. And we had a very successful Juve in St. David's also this year. So a lot of things taking place in St. David's. So
all right,
it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
Minister, we'd like to thank you so very much for taking time out of your extremely, not just busy, but extremely busy schedule to be here with us today. And folks, we're going to take a short break and be right back with you with more Hard Talk in a few.
Stay up to date on all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
It's coming, the new family of EC Polymer Notes.
What is different about these notes?
The feel.
Polymer notes are made from a thin plastic film which makes the notes feel smoother than the paper notes.
The orientation.
The notes have a portrait orientation. You will read the notes from top to bottom instead of left to right as you do with the paper notes.
Unique tactile feature.
The front of each note has raised bumps at the top left-hand corner. These bumps form shapes that are familiar to you.
Holographic foil strip.
This feature is on the $20, $50, and $100. When you tilt the notes, the images and colors in this section will change.
New image on the $50.
The back of the $50 bears the image of former governor of the ECCB, the late Honorable Sir K. Dwight Venner.
New signature.
All the notes bear the signature of the current governor, Timothy N.J. Antwine.
EC Polymer Notes. Cleaner, safer, stronger.
The Grenadian public, protect and enhance the environment through the provision of effective, efficient, reliable, and acceptable solid waste management. In today's feature, we will be sharing with you a few waste management concerns and tips should there be the passage of a storm. At the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority, one of our major tasks after the passage of any adverse weather system is the prompt resumption of timely and efficient garbage collection service. An interruption to the collection service can occur due to a number of reasons, but not limited to blocked roads as a result of landslides, fallen trees, or damaged infrastructure, the possibility of damaged equipment to carry out our duties, or flooding, etc. Furthermore, recent weather systems has shown us that the idea of waste management is seldom given thought to by many homeowners and businesses once a storm warning has been issued. This unconcerned approach to waste management has then resulted in garbage being carried away by heavy wind or rainfall, garbage bins being washed into drains and rivers, larger waste items such as tires, appliances, and logs which are illegally dumped, blocking rivers and streams or drains and resulting in flooding, and also lighter items becoming airborne missiles under windy conditions. At some point in time, if a warning or watch is issued for a hurricane or storm, property owners must be able to determine for themselves whether or not they should safely remove and store waste receptacles should there be a suspension of service. The removal of items from the environment which can cause blockage of water courses or those that may become airborne is critical. These should be removed as soon as the threat is identified. The Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority will always seek to keep the public well informed of any changes to its collection services if there is an adverse weather system approaching. Listeners, you are advised to 1. Listen to the media for any changes in your garbage collection schedule which may take place before a storm, and ensure that your waste is out in time for collection, provided that there will be continued or earlier collection service. 2. Have adequate garbage bags to ensure the proper storage of waste until the service resumes to prevent an infestation of disease-carrying vermin such as rats. 3. Ensure that all refuse left out in the open environment that may become airborne and cause serious damage during a storm is removed and properly stored away from the elements. And 5. Large items should be kept in secure locations or tied down, such as buckets or drums and tanks for the storage of water, etc. Depending on the severity of the storm, you will be advised if there is a suspension in the garbage collection service. If there is such suspension, do not place your regular household refuse or large and bulky items out by the roadside for collection once a watch or warning has been issued, unless announced by the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority. Homeowners, you're reminded of the free once per month per community special collection for old appliances and furniture offered by the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority. You are asked to make use of this special service by first contacting the authority or contractor for your area to ensure the removal of large household appliances and furniture. Let us not wait until a storm watch or warning is issued or the passage of a storm before contacting the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority for the removal of these items. This has been our presentation for today. Do have yourselves an enjoyable remainder of the day from the Grenada Solid Waste Management Authority.
Yes, folks, and we're back, yeah? Well, I find we playing classical music and thing, yeah. I didn't know Steel Pan could play anything, you know. Steel Pan could even play the fool. And Brian?
Morning, Depot.
Yes, Comancheros, Steel Pan. Yeah, saying a special good morning to you, Miss Clytie and Miss Bernice. Hope you all are having a fabulous day, as well as my good friend, Mommy George, good morning to you, and to Miss Noriega. Miss Jacob, saying a special good morning to each and every one of you. And for those of you wondering what's going on with the 97.5 frequency, it should be back on, maybe even before the end of the program. It may be back up. If not, it will be back up by tomorrow, God's willing. Yeah, they've finished the repairs and so that they had to do there. And 97.5, the terrestrial radio aspect of it, will be back on. We know they've been carrying us online. Yeah, Django and the fellas, they handle us. Yeah.
Good morning to all of you who have joined us, who have been with us.
My good friend Leslie is there, man. Leslie! You know? Let's go, man.
Good morning to all of you, wherever you are. You know,
hey,
patiently.
Naz, pull up the package for to show people the soursop that's being done in St. David, yeah? Pull up the package and let people see exactly what it looks like, because it is a wonderful product that's being done out of St. David. And they've got the lemongrass, they've got the soursop, they've got quite a few others that are slipping me right now. What I definitely will do is get the producer to speak on air with us one day. But you're looking for the tea, so when you go to the supermarket, you have to go and pull the Lipton, and you have to go and pull the Ovaltine and everything. You have local thing being produced, so you could get it, yeah? You could get it. Yeah, what? The price hot?
Yeah, the price hot?
No, we go work on that.
Yeah,
we go work on that for you, yeah? Isle of Spice soursop tea, yeah? So instead of going and get the foreign thing, we have a local thing that you could get too. Nice? Mm-hmm. And for those of you remember the National Sustainable Development Plan, they've got that meeting. It's taking place at the Tivoli. No, yesterday was Tivoli.
Yesterday was Tivoli.
And today it's in St. Andrew, but I don't think it's taking place.
What today is Thursday?
Oh no, it's Thursday, yeah. Thursday.
Today is tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday, so it's
Yeah.
Thursday.
But it's not at the St. Andrew Methodist
GSS.
School again. It's changed to GSS.
Yes.
All right, yeah.
Same time, but at the.
You see why it's good to listen Shaggy in the morning sometimes?
Yeah, always good to listen Shaggy.
Shags, man.
Yeah,
Good morning.
Always good.
Yes,
Wow,
indeed.
$25 a bag.
$25 a bag. Yeah, the thing preventing cancer is like chemotherapy in a bag. What is all that, man? I pay the money. Huh?
Support local.
I'll speak to the developer to try and get the price down to a more reasonable level, okay? All right, my dear.
Well, and it depends on the amount you get to. It all depends, Fast. But anyhow.
Yeah, but
we get
never
in there.
on the presentation by the minister, quite a lot taking place in St. David. And, in line with all of this now, you've got the infrastructural development of things like the roads and so, because it's a constant cry at the people in St. David.
Especially the inner part of St. David.
Yeah. So part of that is what the minister mentioned earlier. You have the road gangs that are out. The wardens, now this is different from the bushing program. The wardens are engaged, so they're permanently there. Because some people see them and saying, but these people getting the bushing back to back. No, they are on a different program. The bushing is a separate program, and we know the bushing program is a program a lot of people look forward to around the island. It helps with some of the finances, and so we're heading down to the end of the year, and you've got Christmas coming up. Some people already looking at the Christmas season. I want to do this, I want to do that, and so on. And you've just gone through back to school, and you have to find the money. You have to find the money for the children. They're going to school there. You have to lunch money, bus money, etc., etc., etc.
And Shalon, very simple as it looks, an average parent, would have to spend thousands of dollars to send one child through primary and secondary. And I'm not talking TAM-CC as yet, Thousands of dollars. Sometimes it runs in excess of over $50,000 for one child to bring them through that period. Now, I mean, think of a country as Grenada and our persons who are not as are not rich, and so how do we make it? How parents who don't have a permanent job make it? I mean, all these things sometimes I sit down and consider. That is why it is so important that when you have a government that knows its people and decides to care for its people, how can you argue with that? Right? When they are putting out that extra to assist all the people who cannot afford, right? To make their children to continue education. I mean, come on, it's when you sit down and you think of that, man, it's.
But Devon, just to flip the script slightly though, St. David, and one of the reasons some people will say, well, why St. David getting all of these things? Remember, after Hurricane Ivan, St. David was basically flattened.
Yeah, the housing situation.
And nobody can tell me different, because I was in St. David during Hurricane Ivan. I was living in St. David before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. So I know what Hurricane Ivan did to the people at St. David.
Two things that devastated, Ivan devastated St. David's with the housing stock and agriculture.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that took a serious beating from Hurricane Ivan. And if I'm not mistaken, it's about the constituency that got the least in terms of assistance over the years.
And you see, the thing with St. David is that you get beat up by Ivan, and then you get beat up by NDC.
Yeah.
And this is not, hold on, this is not an indictment on the late Mr. Lett. It's not an indictment on him. It's an indictment on who was he boss at the point in time and how they decided to treat St. David because of him.
Because of him.
Yeah, because he stands for certain principles and so on. They decide now St. David's had to suffer.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's not an indictment on Mr. Lett. Mr. Lett was a good man. Yeah, not an indictment on him. But it's an indictment. That's why certain people trying to say that he hand over constituency to hand over our constituency to. Anyway, that's another story for another time. But as we mentioned, hurricanes, Hurricane Dorian, some very, very heartbreaking stories coming out of the Bahamas. You have certain areas that have basically disappeared. they don't exist again.
They're
Only in
underwater.
people's memories. There are several lessons to be learned from this. And sometimes we look at things, we see them, but we don't necessarily always learn from them. And it is very important that we learn from this one. Please, folks, take what I'm telling all you. Learn from this one. Because when the order is issued to evacuate, please evacuate. There's a reason they tell you evacuate. The Bahamian government sent ships to evacuate people from certain area, and these people just decided not going. I mean, come on. Even if you want to evacuate, and I'm not saying this as, just beating down on anyone. I'm saying this that it is a teachable moment. Even if you don't want to go, don't let your children have to stay there and die. Let your children go. That's who I'm feeling the most sorry for. The children who didn't have a say really in whether they stay or they go.
Exactly.
And had to stay there. I was reading, looking at one story of a guy that was talking about, although some people say the story kind of suspect, of him and his wife inside there. The water came up over 20-something feet. And the wife drowned in the house with him. And he had to try and get out and swim to a boat that he had somewhere there. He realized the boat was still there and get to the boat. And these kind of heart-wrenching, sad stories that are coming out from there. It says, 1, during this season and every season, we need to be prepared. We must be prepared. So every house in the state of Grenada right now must at least have the basic hurricane preparation right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not week after, right now. Every single home in the state of Grenada needs to have the basic hurricane preparedness. Secondly, it means that we need to listen when the powers that be speak to us and say, move from where you are. Come on, some of these people are living in houses and you're looking at the sea right there. Now you end up with a storm surge, and a storm that did something in all my years on this planet. No, I wasn't on another planet before, but all my years on this planet, you have never heard of a storm stop for close to 2 days, a little over 2 days, stop in one location and pour rain and batter that one location for close to. You ever hear that, Devon?
Vengeance.
I heard of one hurricane that hit Florida and went make a wrong and come back and hit Florida again.
Yes.
I've heard of a hurricane, I think that did that to Dominica many, many years ago. I think there was one that did that to Dominica. It hit Dominica and it made a ring and come back and hit it a second time, if I'm remembering correctly. But to stay in one location for 2 days. Yeah? And some people talk about climate change and also, listen, there have always been hurricanes. Yes, climate change may have a part to play in it, but there have always been hurricanes. There have been stronger hurricanes even in the 1930s and 1800s than we're getting now. There have been stronger hurricanes before. The bottom line is to be ready and be prepared.
Be prepared.
Yeah? Be ready and be prepared. They say move,
Always.
move.
Always. Safety.
Mandatory.
First.
Move. When you say move, move. All people in low-lying areas, move from there, go to shelters, move. You had people, I was watching that video during the hurricane, the early part of it, with people in an area called the Mud now. The Mud is an area there in Bahamas that doesn't exist again. It's been totally destroyed. And the people decided they're staying there during the hurricane. And they had to leave. During the hurricane, they had to leave and try to get to the shelter. You know, and people died because they would not listen to what is being said to them. So here locally, we need to listen. When NATMA speaks, we need to listen.
And that was about to say, and we must be reminded that the official word, when it comes to disasters and this sort of thing, hazards, NAGMA, right, is the official voice of this country, and we must put that in our heads, right? When you want anything official when it comes to a disaster and so, NAGMA, right? At times there are too much wild information coming out there from all sorts of persons, right? And so creating, chaos and conflict and so on. We don't need that.
Mr. Techman, can you get the number at Cooperative Bank for people who are willing to donate to help our brothers and sisters in the Bahamas for us, please? Just send it to me on WhatsApp. All right? Yeah, but outside of this, there are some very disgusting human beings, if we can call them human beings, who use situations like this to their advantage. So we're seeing a lot of fake things popping up on the internet right now. One, some footage and pictures and videos and so that have nothing to do with Dorian. They're from years ago, from other hurricanes and all these sort of things.
Asia.
Yeah, that people are taking and putting up and doing like it is Dorian. For whatever reason, I don't know, because I can't understand what a sane, unblighted human being will do something like that for. But even worse than that, we have the con artists who are out there right now and putting up stuff that, look, we're looking for people to go and work in the Bahamas. The Bahamas didn't even make a proper assessment of how many people have died, of what percentage are housing and thing. There's a basic sort of thing that they've done, but the overall stuff, they haven't been able to do that yet. And here it is, you have people putting out stuff saying, oh, we have jobs in the Bahamas for people and leaving as early as this week. And come on, when you see something like that, folks, know it's fake. No, it's fake. I think we had to get to the stage that we know when certain things on social media are fake, and so there are people that are trying to program you. On Hard Talk, we always train you not to be programmed by anybody. Don't let people chain you up. Don't let people program you. You have an independent and thinking mind. Not because something is said on a radio program makes it true. Yeah?
Verify.
That's why we always say you could go and check whatever information we put out to you. We always give you the source. You can go and check whatever information it is we put out to you. Verify. Not because it's said on a radio program or a television program, or it's in the newspapers, or it's online, and especially online now because that's where the main culprits are. Yeah. Not because you see it on Facebook makes it true. Not because somebody says share it means you should. Always verify the information that you're using. Because people could find themselves in problems for information that they're putting out there. Yeah? If it's false, if it's not truthful.
And you don't want to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
So verify.
Mm-hmm. So the Grenada Cooperative Bank account number, and for those of you that have a pen close by, or you're going to be listening to the rebroadcast of Hard Talk this evening on 89.5, that's going to be taking place from 8 p.m. or 3 a.m. or on 94.9 out there in Brooklyn from 10 p.m. Yeah. The number is 121-00-4900. So 121-04900. And we'll give that number again during the program. Right? Cooperative Bank. I don't go in Scotia and try to put it on that account. You go end up on the wrong person loan. Right? So it is an account that's been opened by the NADMA, the Local Disaster Management Agency, and those funds go directly to the people of assisting the people of the Bahamas. So that's account number 121-00-4900, and that will be to assist the people of the Bahamas.
And it's very important to note also that at this point in time, right, NAGMA is only looking for cash. Right, monetary contributions at this point in time. Because again, as Sheldon said earlier, the entire assessment of what is needed, right, in Bahamas and so is not being able to verify and they have not come up with anything as yet. So you don't want to make an appeal for persons for water and for food and for this and that. So in the meantime, the whole question of financial contribution is what they're looking for.
Some people already are looking to where to drop off clothes. Listen, and I have a problem with this one because some people, are looking to drop off clothes, but it takes some old clothes that basically if it reaches a sorting center, which you should do, you have a sorting center and you're sorting, it's just going to Perseverance. Or it reached to that country and it just add to the garbage that it have there after the hurricane. Yeah? So let's help them tangibly. So even if it's $1, if it's 50 cents, if it's $500, if it's $100, whatever we can give, we go to the cooperative bank and we ask for account number 121-00-4900 and deposit it onto that. All right? Yeah. There are one or two individuals locally who are trying their own different initiatives to help the people of the Bahamas, which is commendable. But I always believe in doing things in a scientific manner, so that you get the most bang for your buck. Yeah? Rather than you just do things helter-skelter, crazy.
Also to government, together with other OECS and I think Caribbean countries, together have come together to offer assistance, financial assistance, right, to the Bahamas. In the sum of, I think per country, Sharon, if I'm not mistaken, 100,000 US. Right? That is coming from every country, right? Whether it's the OECS or the Caribbean countries, I'm not too sure, but that is a cap that they have already decided to, to make towards the government.
It's like an emergency something. So when something happens, each country comes and they put that. It's not that you wouldn't put more. It's not that you wouldn't help otherwise, but that's just to get things rolling. So each country puts that. It goes to the country that's in need immediately.
And then when the assessment is taking place and everything, then they...
Because remember, outside of the loss of life, the loss of property, people have lost their jobs and their livelihood.
Yes.
Yeah? Suppose you are a truck driver and your truck is now in the middle of the Caribbean Sea. And suppose you are a farmer, your crop's gone.
And there is a tourist industry.
You're a fisherman, your boat gone.
You understand? So,
Yeah.
Right? Most of the things that would have bring in the income for most Bahamians, they have lost almost everything, right? From fishing to agriculture and infrastructure, the tourist belt, part of the hotels and so they have,
I think the all clear was given this morning for Abaco Island, and they've been pounded since late Saturday into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. They've been getting it.
They have taken the blunt of it.
Yeah. So let me see. They have 7 confirmed fatalities, and this is officially from CDEMA.
CDEMA, yes.
7 confirmed fatalities. We hope it stays there. We hope. Let's just hope. Right? 25 persons evacuated from Grand Abaco to New Providence. 50 children have been evacuated from a children's home in impacted areas in Grand Bahama. 449 persons recorded in 9 shelters in Great Abaco. 346 persons in 17 shelters in Grand Bahama. Parts of Abaco have been decimated with severe flooding, damages to infrastructure and building. Southern Abaco suffered less devastation than the north. Yeah, the mud in Abaco is completely destroyed. The mud being a community, that's gone. The national airport in Abaco is completely flooded. Treasure Key Airport runway is still functional. However, access via Main Road is limited due to flooding. Approximately 60% of homes are damaged in Marsh Harbor. Priority is for search and rescue and recovery efforts. So just some of the information coming out about they are brothers and sisters, huh? Yeah, the slave ship just went a little bit north.
Yeah.
But it's the same DNA as the rest of us down here, so we have to care.
There are a number of Grenadians out there.
We have Grenadians everywhere.
Yeah, number of Grenadians out there.
Was the press secretary, present press secretary used to work in the Bahamas, I believe? Is it the Bahamas or BVI? BVI?
Yeah.
Okay, close enough. Yeah.
Close enough.
All right, folks, we're going to open the phone lines, 440-7377.
And 347-329-3101.
So you have heard from the Honorable Oliver Joseph this morning, giving some information on some of the happenings in St. David. So the St. David track blazers, the lights are on their way now. They had to recalibrate what they were going to do because as I've researched as well, and I did my research in relation to the Grenada National Stadium and the lighting of the cricket pitch when I was doing the research for that. The lights that you're going to use are specific. The lights that you're going to use are specific. There has to be a certain level of lighting on different parts of the field when you're doing lighting for night cricket and so on. We have a caller on the line.
Good morning and welcome.
Hello, good morning. Am I live?
Yes, you're live.
Yeah, I'm a concerned citizen who calling to find out how soon Sheldon Scott.
Yeah, since you want to call and concern about that, enjoy the rest of the day. So you have to have a specific level of lighting on different parts of the field. As the minister said, you can't be going for a catch and you had a light in your eye because then you drop the catch and so on. But it also has to be dual purpose because remember you're going to be using that field for other things, for athletics and so on.
Football.
As it is right now, when you see 6 p.m. going back there according to the time of year, it starts to get dark. You can't really have activities on La Sagesse playing field as you want. I know the minister himself, over the past couple of years, when there's certain activities, he had to dip into his own pocket and provide lighting. Not the best lighting for what you need for La Sagesse, but had to dip into his pocket to provide lighting for some of the stuff that's going on down there. So it's a wonderful one for the people of St. David. And believe me, I'm going to be around for the ribbon cutting. I will make sure that I'm around for that one.
And I'm excited about it, the Six Sense Hotel.
Well, that one again, because...
Very excited about that.
And I think people tend to see this thing as only the people in the construction, but it's not just the people in the construction.
No.
Right now, the hardwares and them, they're starting to smile because they know now that, look, we are going to get some of the windfall off of that. So it's the hardwares, all the different hardwares that are going to be supplying goods and services to that facility. It's the electricians. It's the plumbers. Yeah? Those people who are going to be providing services in the construction and even after the construction phase.
Yeah. We have gravel and concrete. You have Kenny Trucking. You have all these guys. And then you have person. I mean, it's a... How I would call it. It's a game for everybody to play.
Yeah.
Right?
440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get on to the inside.
All right. And 3473293101.
Yeah, and not one, but two hotel facilities. So you have the Six Sense coming, and you have expected 300 staff one way. That's just on the hotel part. The spas are a different something. So there are another set of people to work on the spas and that kind of thing.
You're talking about those persons who are doing the maintenance and all that sort of thing. So you're looking possibly in excess of perhaps 400 persons working permanently at that one hotel.
And then you have that gas station that's just been opened there
Brave
as
boy.
well.
Good morning, Mr. Brave Boy.
Yeah, man. Braves. Yeah, we have a caller.
Good morning and welcome.
Brother Sheldon and Devon.
Yes, sir.
Hi, sir.
How you all doing, my brothers?
Hey, that song is a St. David's, man.
Man, the Lord bless you. A long time.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Oh, we're doing good, sir. We're doing good.
All right.
You know, I want to join with the minister. You know, really hats off to the government of Grenada. We really have been doing a lot of work in St. David. Really have been doing a lot of work. From the mountain of Tekan down to Latan Bay, Woodbong to Rukane, Belial. You know, just name all these back villages that have been on the back burner for all these years. You know, I've seen roads reopened, drains being dug and clean and so on. Box drains, man, listen, we are doing a lot of work in this country. We could talk from Grenada, you know, from St. David's standpoint, you know, joining the minister. Just not too long ago, but 3 weeks ago, we visited a little area in Content. The name of that area where the development is going on is called the Argo and Cottage area. That's Mr. Paul. That investment that project is going real well, real good. You know, and we can't help by saying that the Grenadian people did not make a bad decision in replacing Dr. Mitchell as our political leader and the Prime Minister of our country. So, you know, we really bless the Lord for all that have been going on. The house and scheming current last suggest is well on its way. You know, lots of things are happening in St. David's. You need to come and see for yourself. God bless you all, brothers. You know, so much to say.
All right, my brother.
My friend.
Have
a
all right, thank you.
You know,
and I see it, man, though, if Ila doesn't pass up.
You know, it's also noticeable too, Sheldon, and has been developing over the couple of years, the transportation network within through St. David's, right? And so, I mean, there's more that can be done, and so especially the inner part, and so the infrastructural development that will enable much more persons to get into that.
But remember that recently the announcement was made from the cabinet of the 2 new routes.
Not 2 new routes, but...
Well, basically new, because now you can travel from Grenville, going through Woodlands, through Grandans Valley, down to the Grandans area. I don't know if any buses have started it. Yeah, I see Steels have some new buses. I know if fellas going to buy bus for that one.
I think because there has been some little hiccups here and there, but it's a work in progress.
It's available.
Yeah. And then you have the extension of a route going right out through Beaton, go right out to the Red Gate. And so that will enable much more business, much more service to the people in that area, that strip of concrete road come down there, And so good morning and welcome.
Hey, good morning, Sheldon. Good morning, David.
Good morning, my friend.
Morning. Yeah, I sat down there listening on the minister spoke about development in St. David and said that everything that he asked for, you're receiving. I want to encourage you to ask for that St. David we have a tongue.
Well,
it's slowly developing.
It is developing into that, huh?
Yeah.
Hello?
Oh, we got cut off.
Oh, dear. All right.
Yeah, it's
let's try this call.
Yes. Good morning and welcome.
Hello?
Good morning. I'm live?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. I was listening to the program a little bit.
Oh, going on with our phone line now.
Wow.
High input bills, whereby we were bringing in like a lot of stuff like.
I think the individual
Has a caller coming in.
No, not that. I think his face is touching the phone. I think he's using a mobile. His face is touching it, and it's putting the call on hold.
Yes.
Hello? Hello?
I was a little bit confused when you all.
We didn't hear what... Hold on. Caller, we're not hearing part of what you're saying. Your phone keeps going on hold.
Yeah, what I'm saying, I was a little bit confused when you all was mentioning about the high import bills, whereby we importing everything. But who is the government? Who in power?
No. You see, that's a mistake. That's a mistake a lot of us make. The government could do whatever they have to do in relation to that. They could make the price of imports 3 times what it is right now. Yeah. It is for us, the Grenadian people, to decide that it is better to buy local.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to have a change in how we think in relation to our approach to local produce. If we don't have that change, government could do whatever they have to do there. But we need a rethink in how we approach the buy local thing. Similar to what the revolution did, eat what you grow and grow what you eat.
Yeah, eat what
that
you grow
sort
and
of
grow
thing.
what you eat,
Even though the government has that approach, you the individual have to decide, I want the local carrots and not the one that come in from some other country.
You need to start with the school, you need to learn this stuff to go to school like this. Carrots.
No, I still think you're wrong. We need to start in the home. Not in the school. We have to start in the home. We want to put too much. Them teachers already have enough to do as it is. Start it in the home. Continue it in the school.
But again, Challenge, government go. I blaming both. NDC and MP have a hand to play. Government go, government come talking about agro-processing, homemade, agro, factory, and nothing has been done by this government. Look at the amount of mangoes we have spoiling and
my brother.
Spoiling.
But we've been over those things already as well too. You can't expect the government to go into the agro processing. They could offer incentives, and they do 100% concession on equipment for agro processing. 100% concession.
Where do you get that in GDP?
Yeah, not GDP. You go to the GIDC, and we've said that on this program about 20 times already. 100% concession on the equipment. 100% concession on the vehicles. 100% on some of the other inputs into agro-processing and so on.
You all need to inform the public on all this.
But that's what we just did. That's what we just did, and we've been doing. So thank you very much, caller.
Yeah, have a nice day.
Right. Yeah, I'm expecting a call. Right now. Hoping this is the call that I've been waiting on. Hello, good morning.
Hey, boss, morning.
Hey, morning, sir. How are you?
Morning to you,
Not bad.
Ministry of Health.
That's right.
All right, brother. Man, I hear a boat coming.
Of course. Before we touch the boat, the caller who just called, let me say one thing, he spoke about, about agro-processing and so on, and wondering what is government. Let me just give a hint or something here. A few years ago, right, government looked at the possibility, of broadening and making more efficient our transportation services to enhance nightlife and so forth. If he is not aware, let me remind him, the Independent or Private Bus Owners Association took government to task for that, because you know why? Yeah. They felt that if government were to bring in bigger buses to enhance night transportation, nightlife, and the whole economic generation of things in the country, they would have been affected. So the government said, okay, I will back off, you do it. You know what happened? Sometimes you catching your nenen to get a bus after 6, especially when rain falling, going up the West Coast and so on. I
Exactly.
have seen many people who work in the hotel sector and so on stranded at nights waiting for a ride. So it's just to actually say and to strengthen your point that government cannot get their hands in everything. Government will create the enabling environment for you to do so. So then people must stop this thing about the government should do, the government should do. You need to do it. Had the government went ahead and done that, you would have heard all kind of bacchanal. I remember there was threat of a strike, when the government thought about, let us bring in big buses to maybe kind of recreate the PTS kind of a thing. It is needed up to this very day. But no local investor who want to sit on the money in the bank and say that they have millions is willing to do it. What they're going to tell you, let the government do it. And when government do it, they still turn around and say government should not. People get your priorities straight.
Yes, indeed. I agree with you, man.
Anyway,
because
bro.
they have different things in place for it, but it's for the investors to decide that's where I want to spend my money. But you have investors who decide, let me put up a building, instead and rent out.
Yeah.
They ain't going into the agro processing. They clear the nutmeg, the cocoa, they cut down the mango tree, they put up a big building and they say I go rent and make money.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, the boat coming.
Yes, sir. So the nice thing here is that Brother Scott, what I could tell you is that yesterday we had the official announcement made on the visit of the U.S. Sealift Command Hospital ship, which is known as Comfort. Fortunately for us, we were joined, our minister was joined by the ambassador to Barbados and the OECS. That's the U.S. ambassador. I'm speaking about Mrs. Tagliatella. Actually, she's on the radio this morning, that is on GBN, again with our minister, speaking about this historic visit.
Mm-hmm.
And we are very, very grateful, to the government and people of the United States, as well as the leadership demonstrated by our government, and in particular our foreign minister and health ministers, respectively. They have played significant roles in ensuring that the much-needed services comes to Grenada. So to all the main players thus far, hats off. And I think that from all indications, the government and people of Grenada will benefit tremendously from such an exercise. So just some background, basically. The 2019 deployment, it's a medical mission, basically, that goes to a number of countries, including Costa Rica, the Dominican Republic, Jamaica, Panama, St. Lucia, St. Kitts and Nevis, Colombia, Grenada as well. It's about 12 or so countries, and they are looking at countries which we normally refer to as PAHO member states, or WHO member states, because the countries I have just called there for you, they are in the what we know as South American Belt for Pan American Health Organization. So it's an important and, like I said, historic visit, not just for Grenada but for the entire region. Now, what is going to happen? The plan is to see at least 500 patients per day at each medical engagement sites. Now, there would be 2 medical engagement sites. One would be at the Curani James Athletic Stadium, and the other would be at the Grenada Trade Center. Now, the operation of those sites would be from 9 to 3. So 9 a.m. in the morning to 3 p.m. in the afternoon on each day. The first day of service would be Sunday, the 15th of September. That is immediately following our opening ceremony. So the official opening ceremony would start at 9 a.m. And thereafter, services will roll out, as I said, at both locations. Now, the ship would be in Grenada, or should I say in Grenadian waters, anytime from Thursday night and they will be docked outside of the harbor on Friday. The reason being is because the ship is very large. It's a giant ship. It's much bigger than the vessel that came here on the Arc Peace. It's much bigger than the Arc Peace. I can actually tell you that. So what's going to be happening is that persons will not be going on board the ship as it was done with the Chinese for medical services unless you have to do surgery. So only surgeries would be done on the ship itself. That is going to happen, and what is going to also happen is that if you are told that you need surgery, you would be given a consent form. You would be then advised to contact one of your family members or friends. That person will accompany you to the ship. Now, they will be there with you for the duration of the recovery period. So since you are registered for surgery, you would be there right up until you are discharged. The ship will provide all amenities to you: room, board, everything. You will be like housed. So it's like you're going on a mini vacation then. Because I can tell you from the videos and photos and so on I have seen, and from the experience on the Arc Peace, it is a really exciting experience, trust me. Now, the other important thing is that, and we want people to know that, the ship is not here for checkups. And when we see that, we mean that, because a number of people know, they are diabetics and they are hypertensive and so on, and they are going to, just go on board for the sake of being on board. We don't want you to go and find out that you are a diabetic when you already know that you are a diabetic, right? So what is going to happen is that at both engagement sites, which is the Trade Center and the Kirani James Athletic Stadium, you would be registered, triage, taken to the holding area where you would be then escorted to the relevant service area. Now, a number of services would be provided. I will just run through them for you. Cataract removal and lens replacement, pterygium removal, general surgery, trauma surgery. We have also gallbladder removal, lumps and bumps, orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, maxillofacial surgeries, radiological services, which is basically X-ray, ultrasounds, women's health, hernia replacement, pharmacy. It's a very, very long list. What we have done is that we have also published that list on our website as well as our Facebook page. I will also make a copy to you, Brother Scott, so you could actually have it on your digital platforms likewise, so that persons can actually look at what it is and see where they actually fit into. Now, it would be a first come, first served basis. It is a walk-in site, so no pre-registration is needed. However, persons for surgeries, right, whom we have shortlisted and others whom we have not yet shortlisted, if you have a what we would call, a recommendation from a doctor, or some people, will just go by their doctor knowing that they have a prolonged problem and really trying and get a second or third opinion, or to actually, even those who are on our hospital waiting list for surgeries. What will happen is that if they come with a report, a medical report, right, saying, okay, this is my history, then it will fast track, right? And I want to be clear on that, because people are thinking that if they just go by a doctor and get a paper saying, look, I have X and Y, it's going to make it easier for them. It would not work like that. It is just to fast-track the triaging system, so then less time would be spent on finding out what is it you're here for. So if you come with that information, we know, for example, you are here for hernia repair. We don't have to sit with you for 5-10 minutes trying to figure out what is it you're here for and then move you to that location. It is only to fast-track that process, because we are trying our very best to ensure that we can see as much people as possible. And our minister made that clear likewise. We are grateful for the services, and so we are going to leave no stone unturned in ensuring that persons access the services as much as possible. Now,
Go ahead.
I would also like to encourage our people, to please be at your best behavior, because as was the case with the art piece, disruptive behavior would not be tolerated, and of course disrespect to our medical services providers, both our Grenadian healthcare providers as well as the visiting U.S. healthcare providers. It would not be tolerated, and we are going to ask you to leave the venue. In fact, we are working very closely with the Royal Grenada Police Force to ensure that security is at its optimum, because we have had experiences whereby when people come and they disrupt services, it puts everything in a whole, tailspin, and we have to somewhat go back and start from scratch, whereby we would have lost count as to who we were dealing with, and it makes waiting time even much longer. So we are asking you, please, and also to cooperate with the instructions of the police officers as well as the healthcare services providers. They are the experts. We are going to be having some show cards as well to help people understand, okay, this is what we are offering. So if you need that, you could pick that show card and we give it to you. We are also trying to avoid as much as possible doctor shopping. And in that case, what we mean is that we have seen on occasions whereby people will come and say, okay, I am going for dental. And when they finish with dental, they slip across and run over in the line that deals with ophthalmology. And then afterwards, slip across again and go, for ultrasound. And, it makes the system a bit confusing, in that we have to now try to fast track what is going on, because remember, we must keep medical records too for everything that go on, because sometimes what may happen is that you may access a particular service, we will have to do follow-up. Now, when you don't get the proper follow-up, you will go and you will want to blame our system when you do want to be blamed. So if you know that your most dire need, for example, is a cataract removal, focus on the cataract removal, and do not go there just because, well, look, what, I have a cataract, that is most important, but I want doctor to actually tell me what's going on with me. Take the cataract, because we need to follow up to make sure that you get the right treatment. Medicines, we have pharmacy and everything. The medicines would be provided free of charge. There will be no charge on any one of the days when the ship is here. No charge whatsoever at all. It is also a learning experience, because we are going to be sharing information and skills and techniques as well with our visiting counterparts. They will understand what we do, how and why, and so too we are going to benefit from them, just as much as we can by gaining, some knowledge, from them. There will be a number of engagements like public health. They will be engaging as well as the St. George's University, so our medical students down there can also, benefit from that, as well as our house officers, our nurses, and so forth. Our public health people, I know they are also dealing with veterinary medicine with Dr. Cummins and his team from the Ministry of Agriculture. So it's not just health, but it is a broad spectrum of services that they are bringing to Grenada. Just to share a bit of information again on the ship, to point out just, how long and how complex that ship is. The ship has a total of 61 civilian marines, 259 naval support staff, 956 naval medical staff. All right, so that gives you, an idea as to how well staffed it is. The ship also has departments and facilities which includes casualty reception, radiological services, a main lab plus a satellite lab, central sterile receiving, medical supply and pharmacy, physical therapy and bone care, dental services, optometry, lens lab, there's a morgue, and there's also an oxygen producing plant on the ship. So we're talking about, what is known as a floating hospital. And if you have done any research, there's also the sister ship known as the Mercy is also capable of being deployed at any given time to any part of the world. And that's why that ship is here to actually assist us.
All right. Let me ask, especially in relation to dental, because I know several people have been asking about that. What are some of the services offered in dental? Because sometimes we say dental, and people say, okay, well, this dental, I need my teeth clean or going. Or I just need an extraction or going. Is it just going to be extractions and cleaning, or are other procedures going to be done?
No. Not just extractions, but what they will do is that, they will be doing some level of feelings and so on, and cleaning and so forth. Also, so like maxillofacials and so on. Now, one caller asked earlier this morning if they can visit the ENT, and Dr. Martin pointed out that whereas ENT, which is ear, nose, and throat, is not spelled out, but on the maxillofacial, if something is wrong with the person's nose, right, it can be seen by the specialist, and the corrective measures can be taken. So under dental, yes, they would be doing a number of things, like as I said, feeling. There would be some level of cleaning. I cannot tell you how many. I know from the act piece, for example, they were doing a certain quota per day. And the reason being is because you have to sterile your equipment, and, you have to go through a process. So then it may boil down to maybe 100 a day for X and Y services, because you're talking about 500 people per day. So, based on how it's being accessed, they may roll over, to different areas of services. I hope I answered
I think that clears it up a lot, yeah.
Okay.
All right, my brother. Any final words you want to say to the Grenadian public? Again, it's going to be between the 15th and what of September?
The 15th which is Sunday, the 15th of September, and the last day of service will be Friday, the 20th of September. On Saturday and Sunday, it will be tearing down day. That's when they are breaking down all of the equipment and reloading the ship for its next destination. So you have a whole week to access these services. And the people, I know you have a lot of listeners and followers from Carriacou and Petit Martinique. You are not left out. We can assure you that you are not left out.
Because I was getting costs, eh?
Sorry?
I was getting costs.
Well, I hope from this moment forward you will not get any more cussing. We are, also catering for... Once you come down... So let me say this. The same thing that happened on the ARC piece. Anyone coming in from Carriacou and Petit Martinique, I don't want to use the word preference, right, to make people think that, we are picking and choose, but because of the distance, right, and they may have to catch a boat to go back up. What we did when the ARC piece was here is that we gave those people easy access, right? Facilitated them as best as we can and as quick as we can, because we understand that they are making a sacrifice to be down here, just as everybody else. But we have to be our brother's keeper too, and we have to provide for everybody. So the people we didn't set aside a day for Carriacou and Petit Martinique, but whenever they come, once we know, and I must say that Carriacou and Petit Martinique always have a very organized system. from our experience with the ARC piece, I have seen their respective ministers escorting them, so we know who they are. Mm-hmm. So I know people may want to, run and say, well, I am from Carriacou, but I know Devon and Sheldon know almost everyone living on the Sister Isle, so I may have to reach out to you guys to tell me who is who here. Once you come in from Carriacou and P.T. Matlick, we are going to fast track you. We are going to look out for your interests as well, because we know that you have to catch a boat or plane to go back up, and we don't want you to be there, too long, and you didn't get any form of service at all. So rest assured that we have you covered, Carriacou and P.T. Matlick.
All right. Kevin, we'd like to thank you as usual. Very informative. And before folks run off, is there a number that folks can call if they just want to get further information, they want to find out if a specific thing is being offered and so on? Because you don't want persons going there to say, okay, we hear this thing there. Although we say it's not a situation where they're doing any investigative sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's you have this issue, you're coming, they're going to try and deal with it. If surgery is required, you'll be airlifted out to the vessel for the surgery and that sort of thing. Is there a number persons can call? Who can they call? Right. What number can they call if they want to get more information?
So for more information, you could call Dr. Francis Martin. His number is 405-0311. Right? That's 405-0311. They can call me 415-9463 or 417-8253. They can call the Ministry of Health, of course, 440-2649. The extensions are 21014, which is my extension. That's 440-2649, extension 21014. They can call and ask for extension 21073, which is Dr. Martin's extension. That's 21073. They can also speak to our Chief Medical Officer, who is Dr. George Mitchell. His extension is 21009. So once you call the Ministry of Health, I'm giving you the extensions, which is Dr. Mitchell Wono, our Chief Medical Officer, 21009. And they can also call and ask for Dr. Sean Charles, which is 21039. So I'll just run through them again, Devon.
Yeah.
So 440-2649, and they could ask for any one of the extensions, which is my extension 21014, Dr. Martin's extension 21073, Dr. Charles, that's our Chief Medical Officer extension 21009, and Dr. Sean Charles, which is 21039. And of course I gave you some cell phone numbers. Mm-hmm. So once you call, we are going to, even if we miss the call, we are going to call you back because we have set up a system for that likewise. Okay. Also to the people who were shortlisted or who are being shortlisted still, Dr. Jomin Bristol, I will give Mr. Scott that number tomorrow, God's willing. We just had to actually clarify two things. I know that there was a number that we worked with for the artist, but Dr. Jomin Bristol is one of our persons who is coordinating the shortlisting of persons, right, from the hospital end. So don't panic. You will receive a call, and of course, keep listening to Hard Talk because more information would be provided via Hard Talk. And Brother Scott, by Friday, Dr. Martin and I should be live in studio with you to even take some of the calls and answer some of the questions once you permit us, right?
Wonderful.
No problem.
Wonderful.
Great.
So we'd like to thank you so very much, Kevin. I know it's getting close to lunchtime, although you just have lunch on the move. So enjoy the rest of your day today, my brother.
Same to you, sir.
All right.
Take care, brother.
Keep it up again.
All right.
One
Wonderful.
love.
All right.
Yes, so we say thank you there to Kevin and the staff out there at the Ministry of Health continuing to do a wonderful job. So you have the extension for Dr. Sean Charles, Dr. Martin, you have his cell number, you have everything there. We're going to give this information over and over the next few days so that at least you have it, that you'll be able to interact with each and every one of them. Folks, we're nearly out of time. We're nearly out of time. Devon, any final words for folks today?
Well, just a reminder, again, with the same health visit by the boat is from on the 15th of September to the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
So we expect everyone who can make that trip, go and take care of your health. And most importantly, follow instructions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
And folks, remember that number, the Grenada Cooperative Bank account for our, the people of Bahamas. Yeah, it's Cooperative Bank 121004900. Again, that number 121004900. You can go in there and any amount will help. So whatever you can afford, you can go there and you can put that in. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for Hard Talk today. It's been wonderful being here with you. And whatever you say and do it safe and secure. We want to be speaking to and with you.
Not about you.
We are out.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
If you want to stay married, divorce speed. Never drink and drive. After whiskey, driving is risky. A message from the Traffic Department of the Royal Grenada Police Force. Government of Grenada pledges $100,000 for initial relief effort in the Bahamas. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, September 3rd, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. The government of Grenada has pledged $100,000 to the immediate relief effort for the people of the Bahamas. Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honourable Keith Mitchell said on Tuesday the decision was taken at the weekly cabinet meeting on Monday. Dr. Mitchell said Grenada's contribution is in keeping with an agreement among leaders of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States that all members will make a similar pledge. Dr. Mitchell has been in direct communication with his Bahamian counterpart, Prime Minister Hubert Minnis, expressing solidarity and support for the government and people of the Bahamas. The Prime Minister said, and I quote, "It is a particularly difficult time for the people of the Bahamas, given the level of devastation we have witnessed. The real picture is not yet known, but what we do know is that in times like these, we have to be our brother's keeper." 15 years ago, when Grenada was battered by Hurricane Ivan, many rushed to our aid, and today we are in a position to help our Caribbean brother. I have given assurances to my colleague Prime Minister that the government and people of Grenada stand ready and willing to assist in any way possible. Unquote. When he addressed the opening of a regional conference here on Tuesday, Dr. Mitchell also spoke of the situation in the Bahamas. He said, and I quote again, "Hurricane Ivan flattened Grenada with winds of 120 miles per hour. By contrast, Hurricane Dorian slammed into the Bahamas with winds of 185 miles per hour, and at one point the system did not move for several hours. Now this is a phenomenon we have not seen before, and it may force us to rethink the whole concept of disaster management." Unquote. Dr. Mitchell has encouraged Grenadians at home and abroad to keep their Bahamian brothers and sisters in their thoughts and prayers.
In addition to government's pledge, Grenadians have a chance to contribute to the Bahamas relief effort. The National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, has reactivated its disaster relief account and monetary donations can be made there. The account is at the Grenada Cooperative Bank, the number 121004900. Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Dr. the Right Honourable Keith Mitchell, has identified transformational leadership and human capital development as critical factors in achieving improved project implementation rates in Grenada and other Caribbean countries. Speaking at the start of the Caribbean Development Bank's regional conference on project cycle management, Dr. Mitchell cited a need to amplify efforts to build institutional capacity and bridge competency gaps in the public service. He appealed for an urgent move away from working in silos to a whole-of-government approach.
As we brainstorm the best way to achieve the desired improvements in project management, delivery and implementation, it's evident that transformational leadership, new ways of working to deliver improved results, and human capital are critical levers for strengthening our developmental process. We note, too, the evidence that points to significant deficits in these key areas. We must therefore focus on improving human and institutional capacity, efficiency and service delivery to revolutionize the way we work and conduct our business. It follows, therefore, that there must be a radical shift in the culture of the public service across the region to better support the results and to drive performance.
Grenada has partnered with the CDB to host a conference, and the Prime Minister underscored the significance of the event, saying the rate of project implementation and delivery continues to be a fundamental problem facing Caribbean governments. He also called on public sector leaders and managers to take ownership in the process of change as countries prepare for further growth and development. Dr. Mitchell added, and I quote, "There is no disputing the fact that improved public sector implementation performance plays a vital role in transforming the economic growth and development of Grenada and other Caribbean countries," unquote. In her remarks at Tuesday's opening ceremony, CDB's Vice President of Operations, Ms. Monica Bennett, said project cycle management training has been an area of focus for the bank over the last 2 years, with the intention being to improve management, monitoring, and implementation of policies, programs, and projects across the region. She disclosed that more than 2,000 civil servants in the CDB's 19 borrowing member countries have benefited from the training.
CDB acknowledges that implementation of development projects is a major challenge across our region. Slow implementation hinders the delivery of tangible development results to our populations. Through this training program, the bank has been promoting the use of new frameworks and tools to facilitate innovative approaches to speedier project implementation. We envisage that such changes would accelerate progress towards attainment of our country's development goals, including significant reduction in poverty and inequality.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
Prepare for hurricane. Prepare for hurricane. Make sure you have your radio and your batteries too. Waterproof flashlight, candles will do. Tin stuff, garbage bag, first aid kit. Come on, people, make sure you have it. Clean water in a container and a hurricane plan. Hear me, no man.
Hurricane damage is beyond your control. Surviving the aftermath is up to you. Have a hurricane plan. It can save your life and your family too.
Prepare for hurricane. Your hair, prepare for hurricane.
Continuing the news, Grenadians will have access to free medical care and surgical procedures for 1 week when the U.S. Naval Hospital ship Comfort docks in Grenada from September 15th to 20th. It comes less than a year after the second visit to Grenada by the Chinese hospital ship Ark Peace in October 2018, when more than 9,000 Grenadians received care. Addressing the media on Tuesday, Linda Taliala-Taylor, the U.S. Ambassador to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, said hundreds of surgical procedures will be done on board the ship, while consultations and minor procedures will be done at the National Stadium and the Youth Center.
The hospital will be, and the medical clinics will be open from the 15th through the 20th. And as I say, I can tell you that in previous countries where they've been on a 5-month tour. They've been in some 10 countries doing very similar work, that they have done anywhere from 1,000 to 1,800 visits a day at the clinics. So we plan on opening up services to everyone as possible, given the time constraints and the amount of work that needs to be done.
Services will be provided in ophthalmology, general surgery, urology, orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, and wound care. Senior Medical Officer Dr. Francis Martin says a referral from a doctor is not necessary.
Persons do not necessarily need a referral, although if you have a referral from your physician, it makes it easier for the healthcare providers on the ship to navigate you through the system. But even if you do not have a referral from your physician, you can actually simply show up at the sites. You will be triaged at the sites, and your service requirements will be noted, and you'll be taken through the system. Just a quick examples of things that will be done, and I want to say this because we really want persons who have the problems to come and get the services. We have a short time, it's 5 days, and we don't really want people who need the services not getting it. So if you do not have a problem, I don't think you should, well, I don't want to say don't show up, but I think you understand what I mean. Let's allow persons who actually have problems to get in.
Health Minister, the Honorable Nicholas Steele, is confident that Grenada's health sector will benefit from the partnership with the U.S. naval ship. Over 500 Grenadians will be treated daily at the 2 medical sites and on the ship.
We're here to maximize the benefit. I think that is a responsibility of Dr. Martin and myself to make sure with whatever resources we have to maximize the benefit of it. So this is one additional resource for 5 days that we will maximize.
The 894-foot vessel is being operated by the Military Sealift Command. 4 new schools will be constructed and major repair work will be undertaken on 5 others under the Grenada Education Enhancement or GEEP project. The project embraces expansion and rehabilitation work for schools, institutional strengthening and capacity building across Grenada's education system. Addressing the media during Tuesday's post-cabinet briefing, Education Minister the Honorable Emmeline Pear assured of her government's commitment to ensure that work is undertaken on the institutions for an atmosphere that is conducive to learning.
Work is well underway as it relates to designs, as it relates to the start of actual work on the ground, and we are progressing nicely there. That being said, I cannot say this morning that I'm satisfied, I'm happy with where we are, and probably I'll never be able to say that because of the number of schools that we have throughout the island, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. But what I can say to you is that this government is extremely committed to the issue of ensuring that we have a conducive environment for teaching and learning.
19 schools were approved for major repair work. This is currently ongoing at the Bonaire Government, Victoria Preschool, Victoria School for Special Education, SAS, St. Andrew Methodist, and St. Michael RC. Minor work is being undertaken by Financial Complex Limited at St. Paul's Government, St. Michael RC, Corinth Government, St. David's RC, and SJC in Grenville. 3 new preschools are also to be constructed. The groundbreaking ceremony has already been held for one of the schools, and Holy Cross RC has already completed to the tune of 5.3 million EC dollars. Concerned about the dwindling numbers there, Minister Pear is appealing to parents to return their children to the school now that they have been given a new facility. And that's the National Report. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.